Okay, so here I am, ready to take my 11th dose of the RaDVaC vaccine candidate, experimental vaccine. This will be my 4th dose with Generation 9. It's been about a month since my last dose. I've been pretty good about, socially distancing or physically distancing. Obviously pretty good about my hygiene, pretty good about avoiding circumstances that would put me at undue risk for exposure. But I also haven't been avoiding it like the plague, you might say, although I don't know if that little phrase still applies. People don't seem to be doing a good job of avoiding this plague. But anyway, I feel great. I feel very healthy. Aside from living in a world that is rocked by a pandemic at the moment. So anyway, just gonna clean out my nasal sprayer. I'm gonna use a bit of 70% isopropyl alcohol solution in order to do that. I'm gonna remove the reservoir from the sprayer mechanism, and I'm just going to spray in the alcohol. And you can hear hopefully you can hear there's a little bit in there, certainly enough to clean out the pump mechanism and the stem and the sprayer. So by just doing that, that's what a good spray looks like. Still definitely have my sense of smell. I can smell the isopropyl alcohol very well. It is a very clean smell, if that makes sense. It certainly smells like alcohol. I've got some sterile Kim wipes here. Actually going to wipe off, spray this, and then clean the tip of the nasal sprayer, the part that's going to go in my nose. And then in order to flush out the remainder of the isopropyl that's in there, I am also going to use a bit of saline solution, 100 millimolar, and that again should clean out whatever alcohol remains in that tube, which is just a bit irritating. It doesn't feel nice to have isopropyl go up your nose. So we're just going to put a little bit in the tube, a little bit in the reservoir, and then again just flush that out. And that's really mostly for comfort. And this is great. This doesn't smell like anything, and it shouldn't sting my my mucous membranes. Just cap this all up. And with that, I am ready to go. So here is the actual dose of vaccine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to uncap it, take off my mask for a moment. I'm going to uncap it very carefully, and I'm going to take the stem of the nasal sprayer and insert it into the microcentrifuge tube with the vaccine in it, just as so. And then I'm going to prime the pump with, you'll see, 2 good pumps, just to make sure that that the pump mechanism is actually full of the vaccine solution rather than any of the old saline or anything else that was in here previously. And then the next one goes over the nose. So I'm going to inhale through the nose while spraying with the applicator tip in my nose. Yeah, it's that simple. A few more sprays. Probably 2 more good pumps. And that'll do it. That is pretty much empty. I'm just just going to do the last one. Yeah. And that is good and empty. So, there is my 11th dose. That is my 4th dose of Gen 9. Very mild. In our first couple generations, we didn't track the pH of them. We didn't measure the pH, and we started measuring the pH around probably Gen 5 or 6, and we realized it was actually pretty low. So we started adding just a little bit of base in there to bring up the pH, to a level that matches our mucous membranes, or at least comes within that range a bit more. So as you can see, I just added a bit more isopropyl, and I'm just going to spray that through there to clean out the sprayer for storage. And again, I'm going to use Kim wipe and spray off the part, or wipe off the part that went in my nose. I like to think I keep a clean shop, but we have high standards. And that will do it. Ready for storage. So yeah, I'm trying to think of how to describe the feeling here of what it feels like to inhale this vaccine. It doesn't really feel like much. At this point, there's no stinging to it. Like, again, we brought up the pH close to the 4 or 5 range. The mucous membranes in sinuses at least tend to be about between 5 and 6 in pH. So pretty close to that. There's not really a strong sensation. There's no sting to it. There's no spice to it. I guess there is a bit of a smell, but really what you feel is a wetness, right? You feel a wetness in the sort of back of your nose and the back of your throat, and what that is the vaccine coating your mucous membranes in your throat, because the chitosan that's in the vaccine is a mucoadhesive, and because it is a mucoadhesive negatively charged nanoparticle, it will actually migrate across the mucous membrane, where the immunogenic components of the vaccine can then interact with your immune system, and you can begin to build an immune response against it. So yeah, in terms of application, I would I would take this over a needle any day. I'm not even particularly afraid of needles. This is pretty trivial in terms of application. So yeah, that's all there is to it.